So you want to be a BJJ coach. So being a jiu-jitsu coach, it's not easy, right? There's long hours, lots of classes, students. You're going to deal with all kinds of different personalities. But at the end of the day, you are getting to do what you love. For me personally, like I never planned on being an instructor, professor, coach, whatever you want to call it. Just something I kind of fell into due to life circumstances and also just following my passion. So I think some people may set out to be a BJJ coach, and if you are, you can have like more clear defined routes of doing that. Like especially if you have an instructor that has like an instructor training program, that's always good to have because you have like a scaffolding to go by. For myself, like I started coaching as a blue belt and kept coaching throughout the ranks until black belt present day. And it's, again, something I never planned on doing. So I for me myself kind of learned by trial by fire, making mistakes and then learning from those mistakes. But other people have set out to be a BJJ coach or was eventually their goal.
Yeah, I think experience goes a long way. So if you think at any point you want to coach or even own your own school, the first place to start is just by helping out. Volunteer to help with classes or help with new people or I know an entryway is like helping with kids class. You may do it and decide being a jujitsu coach instructor is not for you. It's not easy. You're managing different personalities, different learning styles. Um, and if you're not really passionate about jujitsu, it's going to be tough. I think a lot of people come into jujitsu and they're like, oh, I'm going to make this my life. I'm going to do this forever. I'm going to open my own school and like have a bunch of competitors and have like a big competition team. A couple of years of doing it, you may rethink that. And so I always tell people like experience, like do it, see if you like it. I think neither one of us kind of set out to own a jujitsu school or even teach. It just kind of happened that way. And I think the organic way of finding what you're passionate about and doing it is that there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, I think definitely going the kids class route, as a lot of people do. I don't think I did that somewhat kids class, but primarily just started teaching adults. However, I would say that starting at the kids class is good, and then helping with the adults, like with new people, like trial people, like day one, come in and help your instructor out. And if you find like Coach Steph said, find a passion in that, you can pursue that further. What I would say, what a lot of people won't tell you from a financial perspective, keep a day job, right? Don't try and just go coach jiu-jitsu full time or think you're going to be a competitor and make it, right? Especially if you don't have a financial backing of your parents or you're not really well off, a trust fund kid or something like that. Keep a day job, right? Keep a day job. Make sure you have steady paychecks, and then start pursuing that passion and coaching. And then once you get more involved in that, you could maybe pick up some more classes, do privates, things like that. But I would definitely recommend like keeping a day job until you get to a point where you can coach full time, or maybe you're coaching and then competing, and that's supplementing your income. However, like it is tough to make it just as a jiu-jitsu coach, and a lot of times they have secondary incomes or other jobs. So I would definitely say like that would be really important when starting out. And then if you eventually want to open your own school, that can be your primary source of income. But starting out, yeah, I would definitely have like a day job or another source or multiple sources of income while coaching, because just coaching jiu-jitsu, like it's going to be tough, right? It's going to be tough to sustain yourself and live an even comfortable life.
Not me. I'm gonna be sponsored, bro. No, I mean definitely. Like you have to realize, like whether you're a coach or whether you own a school, like you're gonna be working long hours. It's not a 8 to 5 job. It's a from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. It's constantly like selling and recruiting and fine tuning your own skill. And so it's not something that like, oh, I'm gonna get paid to train jujitsu all day. Your training actually as a jiu-jitsu coach is probably going to diminish because now you're helping other people and you still will be learning, but you're still not doing like, you're not taking the time and energy to to improve like your skill unless you go train somewhere else or you train with other people or you're learning something new. And it can be difficult. So long hours, long days, no weekends. So I mean, if you really have to be passionate about it to kind of like be okay with doing all of that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like if you want to, if your passion is just to get better and compete, like just be a competitor, right? But if you have a passion for for teaching, you know, that's a different subject, right? Well, but however, when you're teaching, you still want to carve out time for you to learn and you to go train with other instructors, other schools. I personally love doing that, but you know that's going to be secondary to being a coach, especially an owner slash coach. That's going to be your primary focus. And then you, when you have those extra times, you can go out and train, which I think is really important as an instructor, especially if you're like a black belt, to still go out and learn from other instructors, learn other styles, train with other teams, so you can continue to evolve as a martial artist yourself, but also as a coach, right? So I love going and learning from other instructors for my own personal game, but also so I can bring those things back to my students. So know, like if you become a coach, especially a coach and an owner, your training is not going to be primary, right? Yeah, it's not gonna be priority. You're gonna be a little bit on the back burner, but at the same token, like I would say, like you still need to get your training in. What that may be cut in half or significantly less. However, it's still important because otherwise you stop learning. You may just get to a point where you get burnt out and you're not, taking time for yourself to go train, to go have fun, to go learn from other instructors.
Yeah, that's a really good kind of thing to remember, that if you are a jiu-jitsu coach or you are a jiu-jitsu school like academy owner, is you have to still have fun with jiu-jitsu. You still have to find time to like, engage in your passion, because if you don't, you're just going to get so burnt out that you don't even want to do jiu-jitsu anymore.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's times you may have to take a step back, give yourself some time off, maybe do something outside of jiu-jitsu, change it up, do something totally different, right? Those are good too. But I think definitely it's like if you just teach and just focus on running your academy and you don't, like I said, continue your passion and remember why you started coaching jiu-jitsu or why you decided to open the gym. It's because you love jiu-jitsu, right? So you have to feed that passion and not just see it as just as work, right? You still have to go out there and play and have fun and learn and also test yourself and push yourself against other people outside of just your students.